Right. Is it loud enough? Yeah. All right. So I will talk about AI GDPR. For those who are data scientists, artificial intelligence is known. For those of you who are not legal people, GDPR is a general data protection regulation. And I don't know if you tried it once to make mayonnaise yourself. Yeah, it's or whether it works or whether it doesn't work. And so I think these two technologies together, or those two topics together, give the same type of problem. About myself, it's very easy. Just Google me, and you have at least yesterday 1760 hits on Babo van den Heuvel. So since you are all involved with data, that kind of summarizes everything about me. Unfortunately, there's another Babo van den Heuvel in Belgium, still alive and kicking. First thing to talk about is the General Data Protection Regulation. Is in fact for you who are data scientists and processing personal data a kind of a legal boundary. You cannot do everything because scientists love to do everything without any limitation. This new regulation that's already drafted and approved and will be enforced the 25th of May 2018 is about the protection of the natural persons with regard to the processing of personal data. Personal data in itself, maybe for most of you, it's the name, first name, address, and email address, but it's a lot more. It's in fact every set of data that can uniquely identify somebody. For those of you who are involved with data or processing data, that can be a lot of things. If there's just a picture of a camera outside here that takes a picture of me when I will leave the building later on this evening or night, you can combine everything together. Maybe there was the event of Databeers, there was a speaker with a black shirt, maybe the video is already online, so you know it's Babo van den Heuvel. So it's uniquely identified, and as a simple example, you are at that stage processing personal data. So it's important to remember that the definition of personal data is very broad. So it's just not the name and the first name. In this context, we are also talking about the data controller and a data processor. The data controller is the party that, in fact, determines the means and the purposes of the processing of the personal data, and it can be helped by, let's say, the data processor. That can be a Google data center, that can be a quantum computer, but it can also be you who might be working at a research faculty or a research company that will help another company in processing or analyzing certain types of data. Yeah, and it's really funny to see. So my last name is Van den Heuvel. In English it's Hill. So you see, bring out the best of Hillmans, and it's with real metadata. Yeah, I didn't invent it, I didn't Photoshop it, that's difficult for me. I have to share something. I have a special disability. Yeah. That's confidential in fact, but since I'm sharing it, it's recorded here by I think 20 cameras. I have a special disability, and it's called the one speaker at a time disability. I just added it to my slides a few minutes ago, which means that you are speaking, I'm not speaking, I'm speaking, you are not speaking. It's very easy because it's a quite difficult situation here with the acoustics. So later on when there are questions and so on, you are talking, no problem, I remain silent, and the opposite. It's very easy, just sharing some personal information. What can be the conflict? The GDPR, so the General Data Protection Regulation, obliges companies to tell users think about citizens, clients, customers, so human beings on which we are processing personal data. We have to tell them in advance. Can you imagine some intelligent machine learning algorithm that have to tell the user in advance something? For what purposes? What type of personal data will be used and how much of it? Is the way you travel to your work, the way you use public transport, what you are eating today, and you have to tell them in advance what you will be using. From a research perspective, this looks like a nightmare because you don't know in advance, of course, what data can be relevant. And you have to tell them where and by whom they will be processed the data. Maybe a certain algorithm is only somewhere in the cloud and you can use it only in Japan or India or China or, God bless America. You have to tell them in advance the logic of a certain decision. Let's take a simple example. You go for insurance premium. We give you a lot of data. I live in Brussels. I live in Molenbeek. I'm a male person, 24 years, and I just received my driving license. That's not so good for your driving, for your insurance premium. You can imagine that. But you have to tell them what the logic is behind the reasoning. And you have to inform them on the coexistence of the automated decision making, including the consequences of such processing. Yeah? Maybe you don't get an insurance, it becomes too expensive because you are 95 and you had 2 car accidents the last 6 months. So you have to inform the users about that. And we can all think about very intelligent algorithms, we have to tell them in advance. So that's the GDPR part. And then, of course, I'm not an artificial intelligence specialist, but take neural networks, and conclusions reached by neural networks are non-deductive and thus cannot be legitimated by a deductive explanation of the impact various factors at the input stage have on the ultimate outcome. Maybe referring to the previous speaker, with machine learning you do not know what type of personal data or metadata about that identified user that will be used in order to come to a decision. And when you read the left column again, you see that it conflicts. That's a problem. Yeah? For personal data to be processed in the right way, it has to be fair, transparent, compliant, versus in a machine learning environment, what do we have? It has to be fair, and there's a fear for bias and prejudice by machine learning algorithms. There was a very interesting publication on that that showed that it seemed that machine learning algorithms were, let's say, racist or discriminatory. The reality was that they were trained by human beings' data sets, so they just learned from human beings to be racist and discriminatory. You can solve that with data minimization for a part, and also with neutrality tests. They have to be transparent. A lot of algorithms are opaque, they are not transparent by design. And there's a fear that a machine can take unfair decisions, although some research has shown that it's just because a computer can be, let's say, quite neutral, the decisions can be more fair. But that's very difficult to explain to, for instance, a data protection authority. A problem with the automated decisions, so a system decides automatically something, is that with the GDPR, data subjects can insist on having a human intervention. They can ask, why did you take that decision? Yeah? They have the right to express their point of view. And they have to be able to express that point of view prior to the final decision. We calculate your premium. You have to pay 1,500 euros, Peter, over there, because you are only 24, 25, whatever. With the machine learning context, a lot of you have to implement appropriate measures to prevent making a final decision before the data subject is consulted. And maybe it's a nice research subject to add something. Is an algorithm with auditing capabilities that can replace that human intervention and decide for you if this was in fact a fair decision. So I'm already almost at my last slide because I have to win some time. The solution, it's something I invented myself, is use that type of algorithm, maybe it exists, maybe not, that can first, during a design phase, for which we have for scientific research reasons some exceptions in the GDPR, that can learn and train itself with personal data, and afterwards in production work autonomously, only being fed with aggregated anonymized data and sending back anonymous data to the system. Because machine learning system also learn the whole time, and because it's learning the whole time, its logic changes also the whole time. So if you do that in the design or the scientific research phase, and you fix it then, you can always afterwards, of course, upgrade the algorithm, but the reality is that you can inform the user about the logic that's there in the reasoning. So that's about it. I'm finished. Thank you.